Hello, this is Amanda Martha with Collection Ascension, and this will be the reading for November 4th's new moon until November 11th's first quarter moon. We're just going to access the energies that will be available for us this cycle and see what we have in store for our journey this week. Okay. Okay. Two more, please. I think we are shifting now into the position where we're no longer being called to reflect and think. We are now setting what we have previously observed about our situation, our awareness, our selves, or the positions of ourselves. And now with this new moon, new beginnings, new cycles, we are transitioning into the Page of Swords and out of the Page of Cups. However, if we look at these in the way that they are standing, it's kind of, a bit of a yin and yang, or, imagine if their heads were arrows. And we spin in, and then we spin out. And the way that they were placed when I was looking at them to see where to go with them, they were both in a position where either one of them could be uprighted or reversed. So I feel like it's the cycles of process and execution. We have been in a state of processing for weeks now, and I think at this point we're being told it's time to engage and to start taking actions on those convictions and beliefs and I already said that, sorry. Just starting to put what we are observing about ourselves into motion. And what that does for us is it creates an availability for us to model that type of behavior. So if you have come to enlightenments in your life recently that have blown your belief systems open, your heart chakras open to new interpretation and new interaction with your life, then if you, instead of just letting that be this positive experience that you have in the mind field, allowing that to become a physical activity to embody, and then you start modeling that behavior for those around you. And also, I feel as though, coming out of this phase of sorry, I have kittens. Coming out of the phase of needing to take a time to go inward, now stepping back out into the world. Haha, that's fun. We aren't so saturated in our own emotions maybe before we were feeling our feelings and the necessity for that was ever present. However, it seems as though now, it's what needed to be laid to rest was successfully integrated, and what was a deep feeling is now, settled. And we are the Queen of Cups. We are allowing ourselves to develop and nurture those deeper aspects of the self that are attached more so to emotional states and the intuitive, subtle bodies. But one aspect of that, I think, being able to upgrade in that way is to be less affected by your feelings. As you grow and learn how to understand yourself better and what your emotional body is trying to tell you more, updating out of functioning at that level of depth. Not so much in the sense of becoming shallow or no longer having a necessity to function that deeply. It's more like we may have deep feelings and deep pulls intuitively to certain things, but having the understanding of it, it isn't as dramatic, maybe. It's not as impactful emotionally because of that established confidence in the self and in the unspoken communication between your feelings and your thoughts and your intuition and your just like the feeling of an intuition. Sometimes it can feel a lot like anxiety. It can flood over you. And so what I feel from this being in reverse, it's more so like we are coming out of that being shaken by the newness of these experiences, and even though they're still deeply impactful as we go through them, it's just something that we're becoming good at. So the expectation to be met by the universe at this level is less all-consuming when it happens, because we understand that it's happening all the time. We're becoming familiarized. And, that does change our perspective of the world. And, we can start this new cycle with the perspective of someone who's ready to seize every opportunity that the world has to offer them at this time. Going into our quests for further self-discovery with that intuition I mentioned. Being self-assured because of the level of relationship that we are discovering we have within ourselves. The capability of loving ourselves unconditionally, and what a physical life coming out of meeting ourselves there, how that can change everything. And it creates balance in our everyday life. It's like justice is served constantly. Do you have to always stand up for yourself in times of feeling belittled or betrayed or, misunderstood when you understand yourself at this depth? I feel like a lot of the time, the things that stir up negative emotions in us and the interactions we have with others where we engage in a debate or not an argument per se, but the need to talk something through. I feel like a lot of that is so that we can better understand ourselves, because what the other brought up in us really helps us to identify the way that we feel about ourselves, to be so readily available to stand up for your justice and speak out against feeling the lack of I can't remember the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry. When we have enough confidence in self and have enough assurance by our guidance and peace of divinity within, we don't have to stand up for ourselves so harshly, so readily, because there's a deeper understanding that interaction really doesn't have anything to do with you outside of what you're processing within yourself already. And I feel like justice and judgment, this judgment card isn't so much about actually feeling judged or judgment day, it's like a renewal and a new sense of identity in your spirituality and stuff like that. However, like with them paired and judgment being in reverse, I feel like there is no need anymore to sit and wait for this confrontation. Like, it's balancing itself out as we balance ourselves, and we are no longer judging. I feel like I'm more so drawn to just the word judgment. We're no longer judging ourselves to the degree that we used to, and now that has a way of impacting the way that we have judged others or feel judged by others, So as we're making these shifts in the psyche and beginning to be able to live physically outright in this new mannerism, this intuitive knowing and identity of self makes these old trials mute. And there's no need to just feel like we have to go do, or that sense of drivenness from whatever it was before is gone. We can just be right where we are without movement, since the Eight of Wands is about transitioning and moving out of one state into another, or if you wanted to take it more of like a fortune telling, it's like, if you saw the Eight of Wands, you'd be like moving your physical. So I think this man is setting off to a journey, but I feel like the journey that we are in is more of a within journey, and we have embarked deeply through the trenches and the rocky waters of our emotional states and understanding deeper who we really are outside of the hurt. And we're being able to just comfortably sit with ourselves. That, like I said, the drivenness to achieve, the drivenness to want to be seen a specific way, to stand up for this identity, to place judgments on ourselves and others, this is like just going away. It's being replaced by this new sense of self that we're having. And there's a lot of shifts in the planetary fields right now, and we're coming out of 3D consciousness into 5D consciousness, and I feel like that level of understanding of self and seeing the world a different way and being able to divinely connect to our guidance systems on that level, if we are aligning with that shift, then it makes complete sense that this three-dimensional concept of reality is no longer it's not that it's not even serving us anymore. It's that it doesn't even resonate. It doesn't make sense to function at this level anymore. I want to see if there's anything else that the tarot will tell me. See, man, it's like in reverse, but it's like this shift has been subtle. It's been like a breath of new air when you didn't realize how stale it was around you before. Hey. Hey. to say. Sigh. Okay, I just feel to do this. Like I said, that necessity to lay things to rest, to really take that time for ourselves, is no longer such a deep need. We feel rested and assured within ourselves just because of the work that we've been doing in reflection and rest. Now we're rejuvenated. New sense of identity and self. No longer feeling this sense of lack. No longer feeling like we cannot be grateful for what we already have and cannot find everything that we would potentially need within the present moment that we're in right now. Gaining a new perspective that creates a new igniting of our intuition and our spiritual selves. Jeez. Letting go of control of ourselves and others, the situations, the Emperor is a strong individual. However, in reverse, that it's telling us to be mindful of what we are trying to control, whether it be ourselves, a situation, or others. And I feel like we're really seeing a lot of these urges to be in control of everything because we're really realizing that the real way to have control is to relinquish every ounce of it in surrender and allow what comes to us to come to us. And that's also allowing it to come to us. That's great. I love how we got all of those pages. We're really starting to identify with a more mature understanding of these elemental archetypes that are within ourselves. And by doing that, also with the Queen of Cups, now we have the Queen of Swords. So we started with the Page of Cups in reverse and the Page of Swords upright. Now we have the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Swords upright. We're really making these deep shifts to walk the walk that we've talked about, and it's prosperous. We're turning our face toward the sun and remembering the way it feels in the darkness. And, interesting ending. I feel like this goes along with these. So we have, again, a movement card, a walking away card in reverse. I feel like to maintain this stance here, what I was saying about the Judgment, Justice, and the Eight of Wands in reverse, if we do continue to embody this, we're just tying ourselves up. We're entangling ourselves in the attachment of our old identity that no longer identifies. And then we start this cycle over again, where, trying to control everything, not grateful, need rest. I saw a video the other day. It was like an interview with Drew Carrey. And he said something about depression. And it was like, or to depress or be depressed is like a state of deep rest. I feel like when we depress ourselves by continuing to physically invite this third dimensional identity as the core of who we are, we need deep rest so that we can reflect on what we have, that we have to be grateful for and what we have before us to surrender. And we have to keep moving out of that. So with these two movement cards in reverse, it's like where we are right now is absolutely perfect for us, and just keep doing it. Like, keep going. Don't fall back. Don't try to jump ahead. Right now is perfect. So I have these oracle cards. They are from the Asking Your Guides book by Sonia Choquette. And so whether or not you have a deep relationship with your guides, your spiritual team, I would say that these are energies, beings, spirits, that we can access for this week, keeping them in mind as we go through those initial triggers that try to get us to function at this lower level. Is this all? Okay, you do want to be seen. So first we had competition with our warrior guides. Then we have discipline with our master teachers. Priorities with our master teachers. And restriction from our joy guides. I like this one. I haven't seen this card. I've seen other joy guide cards, and we've been getting them consistently, but this one is new. I have not seen the image of this before, and it's interesting because it's like an elevation. I'll get there. I feel as though when we're in competition with ourselves, that pull between our spiritual identity and our physical identity, who we are told we are, who we are called to be, that competition with selves and others, not seeing us as equals, not seeing yourself equal to the divine Father of all creation, that causes this pull. When you're feeling pulled in this direction and stretched thin, call on your warrior guides, because that's who you are. They're going to remind you that you are also a warrior. And I feel like these ancestors in the back here really have to do with the fact that we have been on this journey of self-discovery for many lifetimes, and we're starting to get somewhere. So, what if some of these warrior guides, are actually just extensions of ourselves, a wiser version of ourselves, not so much just the high self, but maybe we've been warriors before. And then we also have our master teachers through through discipline. I feel as though this reflection we've been doing is now, like I said, it's the time to start acting. So when we are met with those interactions that have caused us to respond in a lower function, we're going to need to use this discipline of self, remembering to slow down enough to recall the self-discoveries we've made, and then also choose our priorities. What do we need to stand for at that time? What feels good to us? What is true to us? Or, standing up for something that we're starting to vibrate out of. Yeah, see, he's got his material things in this box. He's got heartbreak, these things that don't seem to matter. And then you see these hands who are ready to, it's like they're invisible, but they're also just there, ready, waiting for you to ask, to just take this burden of all of these things and prioritize your journey naked, unadorned, free. And both of those master teachers are here to really help us resonate with the feeling of releasing restrictions with our joy guides. Now, I have mentioned both of the last videos that we got the same other joy guide card, that joy guides can function in a manner that will intentionally trigger you to be in positions where you need to identify your priorities and apply discipline, because they can be mischievous and trigger things that will piss you off so that you can let them unlock you. Like, so that in that moment you can see, oh my God, I'm getting so caught up in this illusion, and it's like I'm pretending it's so real, man. And then just laugh at yourself for a sec. Like these little baby cherubs have the key that unlocks us from our own mind. And, I think that uncomfortable stuff is designed to help you awaken to the reality of where your belief lies at that time. Okay, I'm going to do it. I noticed that when I said being released from restriction by our joy guides, that I was on the 2424 timestamp on the recording and I was going to ignore it. I acknowledged it mentally, but now I'm being told, so I better behave and listen. Fun. Angel number 2424 tells us to be patient a little longer, as the parts of the bigger plan need to fall into place so that the right doors of opportunity are presented at the exact right time. Rather than jump at the first thing that piques your interest, wait for clear and obvious signs that will guide you in the right direction. Do not be too hasty when making choices and decisions that have long-term impacts on your life. Think through possible scenarios and outcomes and pay attention to your emotions, as your feelings will clearly indicate the choices that you make, which choices to make. Trust your intuition and you will know which path to take. Trust yourself to continue on your current path, but only if that path feels totally right for you on all levels. If not, change paths now. Angel number 2424 brings a message to consider all of your options and weigh up what is truly important to you, what is not. Do not waste your time and effort on activities or people that do not support you or bring you joy, but rather choose to spend your time doing things and spending your time and efforts on things and people that suit your truest self, that resonates with your life purpose and soul mission. If you are intuitively prompted to begin or expand a spiritually based practice or service-based venture, trust that all will fall into place for you and you will find opportunities and assistance with establishing the foundations that will lead you to your desired results. Have faith and trust that your hard work in whatever way will be rewarded. So, that goes along with it. This standstill, Let's not be so hasty to continue and just lavish in this moment right now. Just become one with your breath and understand that really that's all that there is. There's so much more, but the breath is the all, because we can't engage with any of what we have without the capacity or capability to breathe. And I feel as though we find our truest identity in our breath, because breath is life, and breath is the Father Creator, and we are the Father Creator. And I see just such big things coming for us, and we don't need to get in our own way of that. May you have a blessed week, and see all that there is to see in your own journey this week. Thanks.